Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. I'm itching to get my hands on my new microphone, but currently my office looks like it's been hit by a burglary or a tornado. But hey, in the new year, man, I've got a few surprises for you all. But right now, I'm back in the saddle for a few days before I have one last blowout for the new year. And today I invited the guys from Insolar onto the show. If you've not heard of them, Insolar is aiming to bring trust to enterprise with a fourth generation blockchain platform and ecosystem. And they appeared on my radar when I read that they're led by an all-star team of serial entrepreneurs, blockchain engineers and leading academic scholars. Essentially, Insolar is an open-source, enterprise-focused blockchain platform and ecosystem that helps companies rapidly and affordably deploy distributed business networks. And Insolar's fourth-generation blockchain-based cloud architecture is made to solve real urgent business needs. And with that, Insolar is also poised to bring the promises of blockchain cost-cutting, revenue generation and business model transformation to life. So that was my kind of language. So I invited the CEO and founder of Insolar onto the show today. And thankfully he said yes, because something I'm incredibly grateful for, because he does have an incredibly hectic travel schedule that takes him all over the US and all over Europe. But today I tracked him down in Moscow. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Moscow so we can speak with tech entrepreneur Andrey Zhulin, who is also the CEO and founder of Insolar. So a massive welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, hi Neil. Hi everyone. My name is Andrey Zhulin. I am a CEO and one of the founders of Insolar, and I'm an experienced tech entrepreneur. Before Insolar, I co-founded Instamart, which is one of the largest venture-backed online grocery delivery services in Eastern Europe. This is a successful company now with the revenue growing more than 3 times year on year and a team of more than 400 employees. At Instamart, my first venture, I built the advanced and scalable technology platform and assembled a cutting-edge engineering team. And before Instamart, I worked as vice president at SingularGov, one of the largest private equity and venture capital funds headquartered in New York. At SingularGov, I invested in dozens of technology companies in the United States, Europe, and China. I hold a master's degree in engineering from Bauman Tech University and a postgraduate diploma in quantitative finance from the University of London. At Insolar, I focus predominantly on strategy, technology, product, and business development.
Insolar is an open-source enterprise-grade blockchain platform enabling seamless interactions between companies and new growth opportunities, all powered by distributed trust. But can you help listeners visualize the kind of problems that you're solving with Insolar, and also what makes it different from other solutions out there?
Sure, I'll be happy to. Great question. The advantage of blockchain technology is that it creates immutable records in real time. It produces reliable and transparent distributed protocols and trust between interacting parties. And these protocols, since they are distributed, no one has a monopoly on information. And also blockchain eliminates unnecessary third parties who would otherwise be involved to guarantee that transactions are secure and smooth. All of this greatly reduces cost and risk, and thus enables larger savings and profit for enterprises to create new business models that were impossible to create without blockchain. So you can picture that this technology, blockchain, is in demand wherever enterprises are faced by processes that involve multiple partners and complex interactions. And we at Insolar have identified several specific areas which, by their nature, particularly require this technology. And those areas are supply chain, identity management, and sharing economy. And to answer the second question, what makes Insolar different from other platforms? Insolar combines a set of features that are very unique and industry first in the blockchain space. And these features enable its use for enterprise. The core features are fast throughput. It reaches 10,000 transactions per second at 20 nodes and can reach hundreds of thousands transactions per second in the network of 1,000 and more nodes. It also supports linear scalability. It means that throughput grows with more hardware joining the network. It also supports flexible validation and transaction price. On Insolar platform, we also provide upgradable smart contracts and interoperability between public and private chains. Insolar platform has a domain structure, and enterprises can create different domains with its own rules and parameters. And the platform is compliant from the regulatory standpoint. In terms of data governance and encryption, it's fully compliant with GDPR and other major data protection standards all across the world. And of course, it's really important that the platform is easy to use. There is no additional in-house IT capacity required from enterprises to start using Insolar platform. It's compatible with the existing enterprise IT systems and easy to set up. And Insolar is a new generation of blockchain. We call it blockchain 4.0. It's not only in terms of technology, but also in terms of approach. While other blockchain companies predominantly concentrated on the protocol layer, we at Insolar concentrate on both the protocol and application layers. This approach works for us very well because we reinvented the logic of blockchain according to real business needs. And Insolar platform handles the real world complexity of business networks. And applications built on Insolar platform will make the world much more efficient, connected, and transparent.
When I was researching you guys, it feels like you have one of the biggest and most experienced technical teams in blockchain. For example, Insolar boasts 35 full-time engineers who've built and maintained industrial, high-load and high-availability systems, and also have expertise in blockchain, AI, machine learning and IoT. Can you tell me a little bit more about your team?
Yeah, certainly. The Insolar team has almost 70 people, and our employees are based in Canada, United Kingdom, Russia, and Switzerland. It includes, as you said correctly, 35 developers, 10 researchers from tier 1 universities such as Princeton, ETH Zurich, and York University, and several dozens of marketing, business development, and other people. For example, our chief architect, Kirill Evkushkin, was the head of blockchain lab at the top 3 largest European bank. And during that time, he led a large team of more than 100 developers responsible for different blockchain projects. And Kirill personally evaluated the code and architecture for more than 20 different blockchain platforms. And Kirill, for sure, is one of the leading technical experts in the field of blockchain. He's also a frequent speaker on blockchain and fintech conferences. And our chief technology officer, Pavel Shcherbinin, he previously was the chief technology officer at Mail.ru Group, a leading internet company in Europe. And during his tenure there, Pavel was responsible for building high-load systems used by more than 50 million users.
Gartner predicts that the business value added by blockchain will grow to 38 billion by 2021 and then surge to 360 billion by 2026 and more than 3 trillion by 2030, which is just staggering. But can you tell me a little bit more about the role that Insolar will play in that future and how you are planning to enable new transformative business models such as asset digitisation, value exchanges, and also the supply chain of information?
Yeah, it's a really very interesting question. Thank you. I will start with supply chain of information. We know that the number of interactions which businesses have is growing continuously and becoming these connections and interactions are becoming very difficult to manage with existing tools. For example, Accenture reports that more than 1/3 of companies are currently working with twice more business partners than we were 2 years ago. At the same time, Accenture researchers also report that 80% of the world's corporate data currently resides in silos and prone to integrity decay. This information is not shared with business partners and can be really valuable, but it's not shared. What it means is that before the advent of blockchain technology, information has been monopolized. There is a lack of trust in the interaction between enterprise, between companies, and this used to be compensated by intermediaries such as lawyers, banks, etc. However, blockchain can make this middleman unnecessary because it breaks the information monopoly. With its immutable protocols made available in real time to all involved stakeholders, it creates instant trust, and those expensive intermediaries become unnecessary, and a huge amount of money can be saved, and margins can be increased. Processes become more transparent, agile, fast, and of course more automated. And risks and mistakes are significantly reduced. And enterprise can save time and money and can focus on their core businesses. And the next important thing, as you mentioned, is asset digitalization. This is actually closely related to the supply chain of information. As an immutable ledger, blockchain will replace the cumbersome, slow, and unreliable paper trails which exist in many processes, especially in the shipping and logistics industries. For example, the digitalization of documents such as contracts and government certificates, invoices, and other, making them available for blockchain real time can speed the processing time by more than 80%. And Insolar ensures scalability that enables operate networks of different scales and with different rules. And supply chain requires interoperability between across private and public networks, because by its nature it includes multiple governance and regulatory zones. This is especially true in shipping logistics, for example, where multiple international routes, jurisdictions involved with different commercial codes, laws, and rights of ownership, etc. And this complexity can be reduced significantly, and compliance with multiple regulatory schemes secured in supply chain powered by blockchain, where processes are decentralized and automated by smart contracts. And the implications of this is huge, because this has potential not only to kind of optimize supply chain generally, but also remove the intercommercial friction that often restrain international trade. And this is really groundbreaking and can transform the way global trade is done.
So can you help people listening understand exactly how you plan to introduce dozens of enterprise critical industry firsts, such as being the first to support simultaneous public and private networks, not to mention amendable and bug-resistant smart contracts, and also transactions longer than one block, multi-zone security, and so much more?
Insolar introduced a really unique set of features which are pioneering and essential to make blockchain really valuable in optimizing enterprise interactions. And the core features for our platform are the following. The first one, call it support for simultaneous public and private networks and multi-zone security. It enables compliance with the different domain governance rules and global regulations such as global data protection right, and other data protection regulations. And domain owners are able to set different levels of security. And this feature promotes mainstreaming and wider use of Insolar network by enterprise clients. The next important feature is upgradable smart contracts. And solar contracts are separated from the platform code, and it means that the contract owner can switch between different versions of smart contract and update it, and these updates are distributed to the users of smart contract, and these users are notified about the change. The next important thing is support for transactions longer than one block. Why it's important? Actually, enterprises require longer and complex transactions, and unlike any other blockchain platforms, where validation is done by all nodes in the same time, on Insolar, every smart contract is executed by a single node and then validated by other nodes. This allows to execute large and long transactions. There's also a bunch of other important features, such as, for example, dynamic consensus that changes the number of validators required based on the value of the transactions. For example, for low value transactions, there is less number of validators required to reduce cost. And for high value transactions, more validators should be involved to reduce risk. And businesses, those businesses can plan their transactions more efficiently from the point of view, from the cost efficient and securely. And of course, it's really important that our platform provides interoperability. For example, Insolar will allow to run Hyperledger Fabric chain code on the platform. It will really help to those enterprise clients who already experimented with blockchain on Hyperledger Fabric. There are many clients who did it, and it will make it really easy for them to migrate smoothly from Hyperledger to Insolar platform. And Insolar is also compatible with enterprise legacy IT systems, and this feature maximizes the number of enterprises that can easily join and use Insolar.
What makes Insolar stand out for me is that it's open source with 5 diversified and proven revenue streams. But I've got to ask, what is it that excites you about this strategy?
Let me start with the revenue streams. Let me provide a quick review of our revenue streams. So the first one is central registry service. So creating and maintaining new domain names within the network. And the Insolar platform is fully customizable to the governance schemes determined by those domains. And so we will get some amount of revenue from registering domain names for enterprise. The second stream is templates. So those are modular and plug-and-play components that are essential for most applications on the Solar platform. The third one is consulting services for our clients. The fourth is custom solutions. Those are tailor-made solutions for large enterprises to fit their particular business needs. And the fifth is marketplace for applications developed by third-party developers on the Solar platform. And we are really excited about those revenue streams for several reasons. And first, it's really important that these serve the real business needs. The second, as you know, our code is open source, and this is for a reason. We want to maximize potential for optimization and also promote effective technology development. Third, we also know that our applications are valuable if they serve the individual needs for businesses. And we are excited about offering custom designed applications. And finally, our domain structure means that specific compliance and regulation needs of different enterprise can be met, which is really revolutionary.
We often hear about new blockchain solutions that are built on future promises and fix problems that, let's face it, don't even exist yet. So can you tell me about how your fourth generation blockchain platform and ecosystem is actually helping companies solve real world business needs? Not tomorrow, but today.
Sure. Let's quickly review the development which blockchain technology has gone through until now. So the first generation of blockchain was designed for peer-to-peer transactions, and it solved the double spend problem. The second generation of blockchains, they introduced smart contracts. Third generation improved scalability of sharding and provided higher transaction speed. And the fourth generation of blockchain, Solar, is about building distributed trust. And we do this by offering such features as high performance and scalability, complexity abstraction, ease of use, customization to business needs, compliance with different regulatory frameworks, and advanced security and interoperability.
So what are your plans for 2019? Is there anything you can share with the listeners about your vision and your key objectives for next year?
Sure. We at Insolar believe that businesses as well as people are stronger than working together, and our purpose is to provide cutting-edge technologies, enabling organizations team up better to achieve more. And we are launching Solar Testnet in January, so less than 4 weeks from today. And the mainnet is scheduled for mid 2019. And our long-term vision is to become the world's leading technology company that powers innovative, transparent, and efficient business net.
So can you remind the listeners of where they can find you guys online and also contact your team if they've got any questions about our conversation today?
Yeah, with great pleasure. Please visit our website, insolar.io. And depending on your request, you can write us at pr@insolar.io, business@insolar.io, or support@insolar.io. Please also follow us on social media, including Facebook, Telegram, Media, YouTube, WeChat, or Reddit.
Well, like I said earlier, I really think that we're just beginning to see the first fruits from the ICOs over the last few years. And we're really starting to see a focus on real world problems and not future promises. And that's exactly what you guys are doing with Insolar. So I wish you the best for 2019 and a big thank you for coming on the show and talking with me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Insolar's recent announcement comes at a real pressing moment when businesses are struggling to keep pace with those increased data sharing demands. And according to Accenture, 36% of businesses are connecting to and sharing data with twice as many stakeholders as they were just 2 years ago. And that's incredible food for thought right there. Especially when you throw into the mix that existing systems that are centralised and siloed were simply not built for this velocity of interactions. So it's causing companies to waste resources connecting these systems together and transporting, processing and verifying data, hiring intermediaries and resolving inevitable discrepancies. And let's face it, businesses shouldn't be hiring intermediaries or third parties. They should be using blockchain to remove them. So it seems that Insolar's distributed business networks are positioning themselves as the new solution to all these problems. And its open source platform delegates trust to a shared data network, and it also connects with existing enterprise systems so that organisations both large and small can all connect seamlessly. I also love the fact that it runs on blockchain based clouds, so companies do not need to make expensive upfront investments in IT labour or infrastructure. And finally, open source with 5 diversified and proven revenue streams puts this firmly on my watch list. And like I said in an interview, I'm genuinely excited to see the first fruits from all these ICOs that we've seen over the last couple of years. And those fruits are going to start to appear in 2019. And we're going to move away from future promises and towards real results and solving real business problems today, not tomorrow. But I'm not only a glass half full kind of guy, I'm a glass overfill kind of guy. So maybe I am too optimistic. I'd love for you to restore a bit of balance and let me know your thoughts and your takeaways. And you can share those with me by emailing me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweeting me at Neil C. Hughes, or pop by my website, techblogwriter.co.uk. If you go to the podcast section, you will see all 700 plus episodes, see what the guests look like, and even record me a virtual voicemail. But I'm afraid that's it for today's episode. So a warm thank you from me for taking the time to join me again today over the holiday period. I think we can squeeze another episode in tomorrow, don't you? So thanks for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.